Hey, again, Assalamu alaikum. Very uh, good evening for you all. I mean, for me, it's good morning. Fine. Welcome back, guys. So good to see you again. Fine. See, knowledge is not so easy. I mean, it needs a lot of determination and a lot of sacrifice. So definitely, I mean, I'm sure like as we keep doing these kind of exercises, right, we can spread the light of knowledge to more people and more people will be interested in learning. So it's not easy. That's what the very important thing we need to understand. So if we call for a movie, everybody will come. But when it comes to know, I mean, that's how it is. I mean, so nothing to worry. If one person is interested in learning in a classroom, then we should be proud of that. So don't worry, Sophia. It's all that's how it is. Okay, and moreover, it's free, right? So people take it little lightly. Chali. So welcome back, guys. So it was a wonderful journey. 4 days. We had a demonstration of HTML. We had demonstration of CSS. We in fact demonstrated JavaScript. And yesterday we also demonstrated HTML5 APIs, right? It's not a small thing. Believe me, only two things are left out for you in a full stack. One is the dynamic UI component frameworks. One more is the web services. If I have the knowledge of this, see, this is giving you 5 days, a complete details of the stack. It's an overview. Overview means a bird's eye view. If you could go through this and make your knowledge in depth, believe me, we can develop very good commercial e-commerce sites or any business site or business application you can do. So we need to improve further. Nothing is going to happen in a day or two. So I'm just showing you the path. So if you could take the path, then you can definitely get into IT world and so yesterday we completed with drag and drop, right? Of course, we had an issue there. The issue was nothing. I mean, it was working. The only thing is the div was not visible. Fine. So I made the div visible. It just started working. See here. And one more small mistake was there. Let me show you that. So here the image name was fine. Okay, that is also not a mistake. So here it is, drag one. So the drag one I'm getting here, right? So that I'm storing it in my IMG. But I change it to my IMG, but again it's not needed. And then here you can see, find my IMG, which I'm reading and trying to open. The only thing is the div was not visible. So what I'll do is I'll make the div visible so that I mean you can see the div. Then it will be easy for us to know see where and how it gets dropped. So okay, I think this is a problem with JS editor, but it's working in other. See here, another browser. So if I'm going to place it here, So maybe the editor is having some issues. When I tried here, I don't tried in that. So you could see here, fine. So if I take this, drag and drop, it drops. Believe me guys, this is just a small demo of drag and drop. But sky is the limit for imagination. Imagine doing things like, for example, you can say, you can conduct a test where normally how multiple choice questions will be there. the user has to select the radio buttons. Instead, what you can do is you can keep an answer basket. That answer can be dropped there. Make sense? Or there could be shopping carts. Even Amazon, how you have to select the checkbox that you want to purchase, or you select purchase button. Instead of that, you can drag and drop into a basket. Things will be much more. So plenty of things you can imagine, and you can make your site more and more presentable and pleasant also. Getting it? Fine. So this with respect to drag and drop. Now how many APIs are there if you ask me? There are humpty number of APIs which we can make use of. And each API has its own advantage. As I said, there is an XML request API. Then there is a find SSE server sent, event driven API is there. So every API adds value, commercial value to your application. If you are going to use that, believe me, a lot of changes you can bring. Okay, so we need to expand our horizon with respect to these APIs. Tell me. Okay, sir, we have learned HTML, we have learned CSS, we have learned JavaScript, we have learned even APIs. What are we supposed to do after this? What is that the industry expects? See, the industry is split into two: Web 1.0 and Web 2.0. The days of 1.0 is gone. We are no more interested in creating websites, portals, no, we are not web applications. No, we are not interested in. We are now interested in two things. One is creating web services. These web services are majorly created in Java using two protocols. One is called as REST, one more is SOAP. We will not get into details of that at this point. Just I'll tell you in simple sense. SOAP means business to business communication. Like I go to a chocolate shop, I buy 2 chocolates. Now that's called as B2C, business to consumer. If I have to do a communication from the shop to the manufacturer of the chocolate, the shop talks to the manufacturer of the chocolate, then that is B2B communication. Now what is the difference between these two, sir? So I go to the shop, I don't need to raise a purchase order. I don't need to raise an indent. I don't need to raise a delivery challan. I don't need to raise an invoice. The transaction takes place over the counter. Now such transaction does not need a documentation support. But when it comes to B2B, the chocolate company expects a purchase order, and the shop will expect an invoice, a delivery challan, an indent. So there are documents which are getting transferred between these two. So we need some document exchange standards. Now, SOAP, Simple Object Access Protocol, is a document exchange standard. Simple. Don't think too much now. I hope you understood this. So if I want to do a B2B communication, you need a standard to exchange documents. Correct or not? Invoice is in a standard. Purchase order is in a standard. Likewise, in computers also, when two businesses talk, documents have to be exchanged. These documents are not Word documents. These are going to be programming documents, code documents, which will be either in XML or JSON. And they have to be properly, following some protocol, global protocol. So such global protocol is SOAP, given by a company called WSI, Web Services Interoperability. But for B2C, you don't need documents. You just need interoperability. You should be able to talk to them. They should be able to talk to you. For that, we use something called as REST, representational state transfer. Representational state transfer. Now, this was created by an eminent scientist by name Roy Fielding. He was a PhD student in Massachusetts University. He created. So, with this, we create services. We create a service bus. Now, after this, what should I do, sir? That will be done by the middleware programmers. Like we Java programmers, we write that. So then what happens? We Java programmers also write dynamic UI components. So full stack development goes up to this. Dynamic UI components. See, I may not be presentable. I may not be like, a guy who does no artwork. No, but at least I need to create a component with or without beauty. It should work. So a component which can show the server side face to the client. Like right now, I'm an object. I'm not in US. I am a object somewhere across the seas. Now you're able to see me. And it's dynamic, it's live. Such kind of objects is what the customer wants. The customer wants some objects to be created in memory, where in server. And they want a view to be rendered at the client side. You understand the word rendering, right? That is, you need to provide a view of this object back at the client side. And you can render it the way you like. You can render it as a text box, render it as an image, render it as a div, render it as a simple component, whatever it is. It should be visible. Now to do this, we have some frameworks. Now what is a framework, sir? Framework is a half-done job. Even React, we have frameworks. Web service, we have frameworks. Frameworks are half-done jobs. See, IT has made things pretty simple. So I'll tell you. See, normally when ladies have this, so they create arts and crafts items in house. So my wife does that. So initially I thought she's doing it everything on her own. Then I found there is a kirana shop, fancy store near my house. She goes and buys ready-made one set. She has to just bring that, and she has to fit the frame, and then she has to put the monkey chunky and all in its predefined places, and you get a world-class craft item. I didn't know for a very long time that this is how she does. I was thinking that everything she is making. Then I found like this is just small assembly work you are doing. When she laughed, this is how we do. That's what she said. It's very common. Believe me, that's how I also do when I do go for development work. I don't develop everything from scratch. We have ready-made frameworks, tools available. I adopt them. So one such framework to create a dynamic UI component is React, developed by Facebook, released in 2016. Of course, started work in 2012, but 2016 we got the stable release. So Mark Zuckerberg, he is the key person behind that. And before that, in 2012, we had a framework called as Angular, which was already released. That was by Google and a person by name Miko Haber. He was the person behind that. And today, you know very well, we have Flutter, we have Vue. Fine, we got plenty of dynamic UI frameworks. Now we can't see all. One framework, if you look at, enough. Right now, the most famous frameworks are two. One is React, one more is Flutter. This is now right now bomb in the market. I know, like recently we recruited one person. We were trying to recruit that guy, React guy. He was asking us Indian value rupees 3.5 lakhs per month. I said, come on, man, you're asking US salary for us. Yeah, he was asking 3.5 lakhs. If you're ready to give, otherwise I won't. We were surprised how much that much value we have. And he was just a 3 years experienced guy. I said, we don't want you. I mean, we know technology. We want somebody to work for us, not somebody to teach us. So we said, we always recruit freshers. We train them within 3-4 months. We train them. We pay them small money and we make sure that they gain experience out of it. That's how we can make income out of. Otherwise, paying 3.5 lakhs, what will we make? correct or not? So we pay a decent amount of salary for a fresher, let's say 2.5 to 3.5 lakhs per annum for a fresher. We train them for 3, 4 months, 6 months. Then we groom them. They work for 1 year, 2 years with us until we keep increasing. And after 3 years, they go off. And of course, there are few companies who become like Benz, Ford, or some other company like who have a lot of, they are very big, so they can afford. But the question here is, the takeaway is you have opportunities. People don't stay for a long time because not because we are not good or we are bad. It's because the industry is paying. So React and Flutter and Angular are the hot cakes in the market. So right now, let me take up a simple React, this thing. Let me show you how you can create a React and how easy it is to integrate HTML, CSS, all these things. We'll also look at a web service. Now see this. We are going to make it simple today because last time I'll keep it simple for you. So all these are glimpses, guys. Don't think that you have learned everything. You are just getting a complete full-fledged idea on how things are. Correct or not? So I'm making React page in such a way that without node server, without a server, I'm going to make this using these script files which are already present for React. See this? These are React production, React DOM production, and Babel. These three are minimum source JavaScript files I need in order to create a React-based application. Now I say, see, it's very easy. Normally, you would have seen applications only with Node. You will not see with this kind of scripts. So, because everything is server based, right? So to make it simple for you alone, I went and got this. So otherwise, we normally teach it using a server, Node server we call this. Node is a server where React, Angular, Flutter, Vue and all runs. I'm trying to make it in the browser itself using these scripts. Okay. Now, what is a dynamic component? We need to understand this. Dynamic component is all about creating an object using JavaScript and showing a view, showing a face of the object to the client. So first of all, I need a dynamic component. And JavaScript, the React follows pure JavaScript, ECMA script. ECMA script has a beautiful syntax, like similar to Java. So if somebody knows Java, writing React applications is very easy for them. So I'm going to create a class. Fine. Let's say class bootcamp. Fine. Extends. It has to be a React component, right? Extends means is a kind of. Extends means the word extends synonymous kind of. It becomes a kind of. The bootcamp is a kind of React component. I'm saying. See, so simple it is. You just have to remember that if you want to create a React component, that's what dynamic UI component. You just have to create a class which extends React.component. Okay, sir. Fine. What and all I can have in this component, we'll come to it later. But this component should have a face. Should have a face which should get displayed at the client side. So to display, give a face at the client side, we call that as rendering. It's an English word, rendering. So that you do with the help of a function called render. So that's a function, right? Yesterday we saw in JavaScript. So having a word with the brackets called as a function. So you need to use a function called render. When a class can have functions, so that render method will automatically get called. Now what am I going to have in this? It has to return. It has to return. Fine. A HTML. A HTML. So it could be anything, guys. For example, I can say input type equal to button. So this is what I want to render. This is what I want to render. I don't want. I want a face. I want a view. So I can render whatever I like. So this is the place I'm going to have my HTML, CSS, blah, 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 and all. It can be distributed also, but you can have from here. And then what else? Now this has to be now. This is called as React object. React object. Now this React object has to be rendered now to the client. Now where, let's say for example, I have a body tag here. Already body tag is there, right? So here I have a p id equal to find display. This is the place I'm going to have that particular display. The tag ID can be anything. The name can be anything. Okay. So what I have to do is I need to say, that's it, my class is over, my view is over. Now I need to marry the object to the p tag HTML where I would like to display the component. For that, React gives us something called as React DOM. Now if you look at, we have imported that React DOM. See here, fine, React DOM. This is another. So React DOM has a method called render, and this guy is going to contain the logic or the technique of how you can render that particular bootcamp on this display. So for this, there are two things which only two things. This skeleton is going to be the common for all your React based applications. So here you are going to say bootcamp. What is the class name? Bootcamp. So the tag name should also be bootcamp. If you want a different tag name, then you should have. So all you are doing is you are creating your own HTML tag. Believe me guys, this is why HTML was introduced. 5 was introduced. HTML5, all we are saying is we can create our own tags. HTML5 is extensible. It follows XML. This was not possible with HTML4. And then this tag, where should it go? For that, you are going to query that display and place it there. For that, you have an object called document. And yesterday also we saw this, get element by ID. And then you got to say display. So what we are telling is, boss, render this bootcamp. Bootcamp. This name and this name should be same. Bootcamp on this area called display, on this component called display. So this is going to get replaced. This is going to get replaced by bootcamp. What it will replace? It will replace it as input type equal to button. So here we have. So let's run this. So we have created, congratulations guys, we have created our first React component. Oh my god, some error will keep. Everything is perfect. Text/Babel, class, bootcamp, extends React component, render, return. This one, React DOM. Any spelling mistake? I'm just checking. Bootcamp, oh, comma is not there. Okay, so because there are two things, comma was missing. Right. Again, there is an error. Achha, let's see one more time. Document dot get element by ID and PID equal to display slash P body slash HTML. Everything looks perfect. Problem with this guy is it's not showing the exact place where the error is. Everything is correct, guys. Nothing. I might have missed some word or something like that. Let me check it out.
Is there a way that we can debug?
Yeah, we can do a debugging. Just hold on. And I'm just trying to see whether I have done any spelling mistake. So let's. 1 second. We'll just put in Visual Studio. Sometimes this kind of script also, no, I mean, this kind of editors may not give us the right output. Just give me 2 seconds. We
Do we
can
need
we
to
can
go
actually do the
export?
debugging. Yeah, we can do the debugging. Let me show you that. In case if I'm going to find this kind of errors, very simple, we can do a debugging. So here let me create my react.html. So here we have done it. I got the error. I gave a semicolon here. Fine. So in Visual Studio Code, you can see the error. Fine.
I think we need to export the class.
No need. It will work. Okay. Nothing. I gave a extra semicolon. See, I didn't got the error because this editor does not provide me that facility. But here, when I gave that error, I mean, you saw that there is an error. You don't need to export. Without export also it will work. Because I told you, right, I'm just trying to use simple script tags, right? So if I'm using node and all, then all those things works. Fine. So this was the error. So now if I'm going to say this, yes, it works. So let me now give a different thing. Input type equal to button. So here we are. Find value equal to making sense, guys?
Yeah.
Fine. See, tell me, is that simple or tough creating a React component? See, all we have done is, I mean, don't get into too much of complexity. Try to always keep things simple. So here we have created a simple class, right? We have created a simple class, and in that simple class, we have called this render function. Within that, we are returning some input, some HTML. See, what is more important is what we need to understand here is this particular div, fine, follows XML standards. So you cannot have two div tags here. Like for example, if I give one more div, fine, this will throw me an error. This will throw me an error. See this? This is throwing an error. So you can have only one root tag. That alone you remember. These are some rules. Fine. See, it works now. So you cannot have two root elements. With this root element, right? Only one hierarchy should be there. If it is going to have multiple hierarchy, then you will have issues. Sorry. Let's experiment a little bit more on this. In the render, I can also have let age equal to, let's say, 20. Fine. If I want, I can even display that. Then let age is what you are declaring a variable by name age, and you are assigning a value 20. So you have in React something called as expression language. You can very well say like this, age. This will display the value age on the console. Making sense? And you can also write some program. Age is greater than 18. Fine. Question mark. You are eligible to vote. Yesterday we saw, right? You are not eligible to vote. Okay. So, wow. And if you want, you can put it in bold and big. With what you learned, I'm teaching. I'm not teaching anything extra. And this you can have because it's a subtag. We learned this. You're eligible to vote. Right? Fine. Superb, right? Not only that, if you want, you can also have some functions. Let's say you can have like this. Fine. Return. You can also have a function, and that function can also be called. Fine. What else you want, guys? Tell me. So it's ordinary program in JavaScript. You are writing, not it's, you know very well. I told you JavaScript is not object oriented. So they came up with ES6. ES6 is object oriented completely to a great extent, except polymorphism, that is method overloading. It supports everything. So this is actually ES6 syntax, class, and then the rest of the things. And you can also use the plain JavaScript also very well. So all those things you can combine, you can make this JavaScript component, the class, as strong as possible. You can write a complex thing. I don't know how to make it complex, but I'm just telling. You can do database operations, you can connect to MongoDB, you can go do drag and drop, whatever you want you can make. And then you can render it the way you like. You learn, right, HTML, CSS, all those things. And you can make a beautiful dynamic web component. How it can be very dynamic? Pretty simple. You can very well have a method, and that method can in turn connect to a server side using an AJAX call, using a web service call, using a REST call. Like for example, I can create a SVG, scalable vector graphics, where bar graphs can be created here in this area. A simple bar graph. Bar means one column you will create with thick columns. Div tag basically. And then the width of the length, height of the div tag will vary based on the incoming data. Let's say the incoming data is 100, the bar will be this much. The incoming data, yesterday you saw set interval. So again after 5 seconds, it will go to server, bring the new data. Let's say now the Boolean rates have come to 80 rupees, then it will be 80. So the bar graph will produce. So this kind of, that's what we call as and when the component changes, you can re-render this particular page, and you can show different views at different instances. Making sense, guys? Okay. See, I have not gone beyond, and neither I'm going to go beyond this. But believe me, this is all it takes for you to get yourself kickstarted. So now that you got an idea what is dynamic UI component, how it is integrated with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, let's also have a quick look on how you can create a web service using REST, and you can very well call that service from here and make this service server enabled. See, why we need servers? Because servers are very rich in processing data. So when I'm connected to server, like for example, state government is connected to the central government. Central government is very powerful. So in that case, state government will also become very powerful. Correct or not? So similar to that. So I need to enable my Java services or .NET services or C# services to HTTP. If I enable it to HTTP, believe me, I can easily call from here, because this is working on HTTP protocol. If my Java is also going to support HTTP protocol, job done. So let me quickly show you a small thing using HTTP. See this. I already have created, in fact, yesterday I was taking this class on REST, my REST project. See this is a core Java application. Let me take, REST easy. Yeah, REST to yesterday we were working on this. See how simple it is. So I just have created one hello service, fine, where I've written some blah 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 Java program. Something. You don't worry about it. So let's say this is the path, fine, and this is the path. This is the path. Okay. So if I'm going to use these paths, I can very well call this. So I'll run this and show you how simple it is to have this kind of stuff. So it's already running, right? So I can go to the browser. Fine. See here, what is the path we have specified here? My service. And then here you can see set value some blah blah. So here if I want, I can very well say what is the path 2020, you can see here. Localhost 2020 slash, fine, and then my project name rest 2024 slash my service. That's what, no, I have. See this? Where is that? The path name is my service. Then perhaps let me call this yes value. So this one slash yes value slash something blah blah, because it is accepting something blah blah. It is accepting a path pair. So if I call this, fine. Okay, I need to restart the server. Right click, run as. I just have to restart the server because it was not started. Okay, the name I've given is my rest proj. So you can see here my service slash yes value slash blah blah. Hey, what's happening there? Let me just say my service. Sometimes it happens like this. Don't worry, we'll make it. Rest slash my service. See this? And my service slash nothing. I just missed the rest. My service slash, fine, yes value slash blah blah. Now what is that we have done? This particular URL is now accessible from, fine. So what I can do is, let me go back here. So already we have done it, right? So here I can very well say, or rather here, where is that? Now that I have this, let me say form action equal to, say I'm integrating this form. There are many ways to integrate, guys. There are many ways. Form button, or rather submit, fine, here to call server side service. Okay. See this? I will guys, the moment you see this, you can see here, right? If I click on this, if I'm clicking on click here, am I getting that? This is just a small thing, but imagine you can connect it in multiple ways. So many ways are there. You can have a fetch service is there, Ajax is there, XML service is there. Fine. There are plenty of ways by which you can connect to this service, and you can even do an input, output, all these things you can do. See right now here, this guy is, where is that? It is accepting blah blah, right? In fact, if I say G value, this get value, I get this blah blah. So what I can do is I can have two things where I can pass this blah blah, fine. I can pass this blah blah and I can get that blah blah from here. Now please understand, guys. All we are telling is Fine. The whole concept of this programming is pretty straightforward and pretty fine. It's not confusing. That's all. No, I mean, I would like to convey to. If you could put a little effort, fine. If you learn HTML, if you learn CSS, if you learn JavaScript. So now we have learned basics, level one, right? Little. With this itself, see, I didn't taught you extra and made a full fine application. Just imagine if you could learn extra. You learn full-fledged HTML, full-fledged CSS, full-fledged JavaScript, full-fledged no, React, full-fledged web services. What wonders it will do. Even if I could do like drag and drop, find geolocation, what we learned with whatever JavaScript you learned and HTML, CSS3, and you create a service. Service I didn't taught you because that's going to be a little big for you. But if I could learn that also, just imagine what kind of application you can create. Right? It will hardly take few months. And once you are through with that, you can develop dynamic UI components which are going to be server enabled, and you can create a powerful web application which can host it on internet. And today that's the core, right? That's a business today. Fine. So once again, congratulations, guys, and thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to talk to you guys. And of course, I hope that I have motivated you enough to get into IT and catch hold of this full stack development, because the future is full stack. Nobody wants biryani cook. We want chefs who can do fine entire menu. So we are looking at people like that. And learning a full stack is not a tough task. If you could give a try, find little more technologies will also add it. Now that will give you a full hand on developing an application end to end. Fine. And you saw that within 5 days you can actually see end to end, like complete you are able to see. So little more time if you are going to add, obviously you can develop powerful applications. And you can, I would normally say this, after learning this, fine, the company who recruits you, fine, will be more lucky, provided you learn the entire thing. If nobody recruits you, believe me, you are lucky, because you will create a company, you will create a job. So that's the power this particular subject has. If you study, find IT and get a full knowledge, either you will get a job or you will create jobs. One of this is possible. If you get a job, you are lucky. If you create a job, you are more lucky. And many people have done that. And that's how companies are flourishing. And still nobody is suffering. Everybody is flourishing, because whoever gives the best solution has the best mind. Everybody wants solutions. Everybody wants to have problems. As I said in the first day, fine, techniques may die, programming languages may die, fine, but problems never die. And if you have the solution, you are always on the task. And if you could automate the solution, right now we have this stack. See, when I started my career, it was a different stack. You need to upgrade yourself. If you can automate the solution, what else you need? Correct? Icing on the cake. So that's all I have, guys. Fine. Hope you enjoyed the session. Any doubts, any feedback which you would like to share, it's free for you. Is that okay? First
Thank you
of all,
very much, sir. Yes, sir. Please
thank
go
you, sir.
ahead.
Yeah, anything. First of all, I would like to hear from you. What was your experience, and what do you feel? Have you got some idea? I'm not talking about everything. Have you got an idea? Like, have you able to see the flow? Okay, this is what it is.
We will send a feedback form, sir, and to everybody who attended the session. And then, inshallah, let's see what feedback we'll get. But I'm planning to start probably around 19th of Feb, our full-fledged 60 days, 2 months Java training complete.
Super.
And we will have a discussion about the final date. And then we will send out the flyers to the participants who might be interested in the full-fledged 2 months training, Java full stack. And
Yeah.
also, participants, we are going to send you a feedback form. and also the flyer who might be interested in the training, please register so that we can come up with a particular date to start this training. And I really appreciate, sir, your patience and you sharing your knowledge with us. I really appreciate that. You are very cooperative. And then and we'll talk. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Hope you had a great journey of this 5-day journey. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Sophie, I
Yes,
have a
please.
question about the course, because Ramadan is starting, right? So you're saying Feb 19. So the classes will be at the same time, like this?
Ramadan. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's gonna be
So,
hard, right? Because if you don't
of
have to
course,
attend the class.
Yeah, can the classes be started after Ramadan? That's the thing on the same line, so that people can join. So we don't miss the Tarawih prayers and our doing fasting to be little difficult.
and what's your
We
name?
have-
What's your name?
my name is Abdul Khadir.
Abdul Qadir. Okay. So we'll get back to you after discussing with sir, and
One
I'll
suggestion,
inform everybody.
one suggestion, for the Ramzan month, we can have 3-hour session on Saturdays, and after Ramzan, we'll have this weekly, I mean, daily classes. That way also we can plan. Ramzan alone, Saturdays
Yeah.
or Sundays, morning hours. So, I mean, after we finish our Quran and all, like we can sit. That's for me also night time. So it will be Qiyamul Layl for me.
All right. We'll discuss with everyone. We'll send a feedback form, and also we'll create a poll if they want to attend the Saturday and Sunday session,
Just for
or
Ramzan.
else after
Yeah.
Ramadan.
Yeah, 4 sessions in Saturday. See, the Ramzan May is a blessed month, right? So starting something definitely like Allah will be pleased,
That's
because we
true.
are
I
starting.
agree. I agree.
Even that is
Yes.
going to be ibadah for us.
Yeah, I agree.
Sure.
All right, inshallah.
Appreciate-
Thank you everyone for joining. Yeah, any question, Abdul?
No, I would like to thank Brother Sohaib for taking much time for this
Thank
theme,
you.
and he did a good explanation. So for any like what do you call, the layman even can understand. So it's a very basic,
That's the thing. Yeah.
very excellent teaching skills, mashallah.
It's gonna make it hard when we attend his classes.
You
See,
want to
my
be
job
master?
is
don't you?
to make it easy for you, as simple as that. I know you people are intelligent enough to learn. I'll make sure that I make it more easier for you, so that you can learn faster. That's the objective, nothing else.
Thank you.
Sure.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Really, guys. Thank you very much. All the best. And if you are meeting in Ramzan, Alhamdulillah. Otherwise, also happy Ramzan, and hope you all enjoy and have a very great and blessed month for you. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
very much. It was a great
Thank
job.
you.